game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Howdy ho, howdy hey, how the hell is everybody? Happy Sunday, happy day to be blessed, everybody. And we are blessed here on the Buccateers as it's the great J-Lo on my side, and I'm Tampa Tones as we're leading you through a Sunday special here of the Buccateers. A lot to discuss today, a lot to break down, rumored schedule release, bullshit. We're going to tell you the accounts to stay the hell away from, the untrustable ones, the ones that you look at and say, oh, I should not be getting my information from there. We're going to be going over UFL, some updates about the UFL, some Bucs rookie updates. The roast of the GOAT, Tom Brady, is about to go under fire, is about to get flamed. We'll catch you guys up on where you can watch that, when that might be available, and so much more here in the Buccateers. As Neil is doing the Lord's work here early. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hit that like button. Absolutely. If you guys are watching on YouTube right now, please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. That helps us out a lot. And turn that notification bell on to help you out for whenever J-Lo, myself, whoever the hell it might be, Gene, Hunchimal, goes live. Speaking of J-Lo, how the hell you doing, brother? Long time no talk, and hope all is well.
Hey, Tom. Doing well, brother. Back to reality last couple of days at work, but, got my day off. I'm trying to get back to reality, but I'm doing good, brother. How about you? How you doing?
Good. One of the hardest things to do in the real world is get into a rhythm again when you're out of it for a little bit. So I know your pain there. After a vacay, after some time off, I'm sure it's a little bit of an adjustment. Speaking of adjustment, though, we got some schedule release rumors to adjust, J-Lo. And sadly, the Lightning have adjusted themselves out of the playoffs. But, any thoughts on that or anything of sports this weekend in general, as we'll open with our weekend in sports segment for the first time. When, there's a little bit of down Bucs talk, we'll open up with the weekend in sports talk. Anything to talk about, J-Lo?
Yeah, the Lightning, it is what it is. They got a lot of changing up to do. They're definitely have to cut some of that dead weight cap, money hit on some of these players. I feel like they didn't really perform really well the last couple of years. So we'll see what happens there. Big offseason coming up for the Lightning. I caught some of the UFL yesterday. I caught the Battle Hawks dominant, 5-1. So
that's your team. Good. Anthony Beck leading the way.
Coach Bet, man, he's crushing it. He's a hell of a coach. He was a hell of a player back in his play day. And then plus Donnie Abraham, defense coordinator. Defense looked really strong yesterday. So shout out to Donnie Abraham, Buccaneer legend.
Couple Bucs legends over there, huh? I mean, Anthony Beck, maybe not necessarily a playing legend, but 813 legend, we'll say, as he's been out about and all around. And your Battle Hawks are off to a good start. And we'll see how that goes. UFL's been interesting so far. I'm going to start my sports weekend talk because we'll get to the UFL a little bit later as well. We'll recircle back, but good stuff there. Actually, I know a buddy. I'm going on a bachelor party next weekend in the St. Louis area for my good pal Tim Crowley, and we're going to UFC, and he was at the Battlehawks game yesterday, so he's been having a hell of a couple weekends. Battlehawks on to UFC next weekend, but I'm going to bring up the Rays. Zach Littell, I cannot speak enough great things about this guy. Zach Littell has been a blessing for Tampa Bay sports. He's been a great arm for the Rays. Here's a guy who's a middle-of-the-pack reliever, comes over to Tampa, and what do? Tampa does what Tampa does best. and they stretch him out into a starter. And a lot of people had their doubts on Littell when they were trying to do that project. He's down to a 3.00 ERA flat for the season. He has 42 strikeouts on the year. His record is 1-2, but he can't really help that. I mean, that's some Rays stuff going on there. He got a no decision yesterday, but he should have got the win yesterday. So, Zach Littell, you have been a blessing. When your team faces 5 injuries to the starting rotation like the Rays have, I mean, you could go on and on. It's like a grocery list, right? You got Shane McClanahan, you got Drew Rasmussen, you got Jeffrey Springs, you got Taj Bradley. It seems like it's not even real life with all the injuries they had to face. But J-Lo, a guy like Zach Littell, who you get for very cheap, he's still under contract for next year as well. How fun is it to have a guy like that around the locker room and just, making that big of an impact when it was really just a little signing that turned into such a big deal?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that's what the Rays do best as far as pitching. They develop these bullpen, middle, inning pitchers into starters. Zach Littell's done, a pretty, best as he can be on pitching because, when the bats are dead, they're not helping him. So, the Rays are up and down as far as I'm concerned. To me, they're an average baseball team at best. I'm not giving up on them, but my expectations ain't very much of them just because, like you said, injuries have been building up like a grocery list. But we are expected to get some of these pitchers back. I know spring's supposed to be back sometime in, I believe, late May, early June. I know we're supposed to be getting Taj Bradley back soon, like within a week or two. And then also Drew Rasmussen, I'm hearing after the All-Star break. So we'll be getting some of our guys back. Hopefully we'll be at somewhat 500 or over.
And they have won 3 out of their last 5 at least. They're playing a little bit better ball.
No, they are. There's just a couple of players I feel might need to be sent down to AAA or get traded or get designated for assignment, whatever. Jose Siri, I'm over that guy. I think he's, not as talented as we all thought he was. And when he dropped that ball last night and then he got frustrated, I'm like, what are you doing? Go get the ball, dude. Like, I understand you're having a frustrated time because you're playing like crap, but, dude, you're costing us baseball games when you do that. So they're definitely going to make some moves when some of these pitchers come back, whether send Jose Siri to the chopping block because I just feel like he's just a cancer in the locker room, in my opinion, as mean that sounds.
And as J-Lo and I are here on the Buccateers, we started today with our weekend in sports segment. If you guys are confused why we're talking other sports, it's just a brief tidbit as we transition here into football ball talk. And we got NFL schedule release rumors coming up to chat about, break down, and discuss right now. Obviously, there's a lot of bull crap going on out there. You're hearing a lot of fluff. We saw a tweet today say the Bucs are playing the Panthers week 1. That's not confirmed. JC Allen says he can confirm that account is a fraudulent account. So if you guys ever see accounts such as NFL schedule leaks or NFL schedule release week leaks, anything along those lines on X, Twitter, Instagram, just be wary because, they might guess something right, but then they're going to delete all the hubbub and bull crap that's not right. And J-Lo, one other thing is, I think somebody put out last week that schedule release possibly might be on this upcoming Thursday, but to me, we would have heard about it more concrete by now. I haven't heard about it from any of the big wigs, whether it's been Rappaport, Schefter, even a Greg Allman for the Bucs, JC Allen, and those types. I haven't heard that Thursday's a concrete thing. As nice as that would be, I think the NFL wants to give people a little more time to, it's already Sunday. By the time you get to Thursday, that's only a hop, skip, and a jump away, and we haven't heard anything from the NFL yet. So between the fluff and stuff with fake accounts tweeting things and schedule release being rumored to be this Thursday, where are you currently at on the NFL schedule release, J-Lo?
I mean, usually it comes around right about this time, sometime in the middle of May. It could happen Thursday. Maybe the NFL is just trying to hold back a little bit, try to surprise us, give us something to look forward to this week. I think it's now or never. It's either going to be this week or definitely next week for sure, where we get a schedule release and find out who when we play our opponents. We've got some primetime games.
Who do you want to see week 1? If you're a Bucs fan, if you're sitting down right now and just pretend like you're going to have pretend it's we'll say not week 1, we'll say home opener. Pretend like you could get tickets locked in. If you could choose one opponent, J-Lo, for the home opener and you have tickets locked in, who are you choosing? Who would you like to see?
Ooh, tough one, man.
And you have options, right? Because years past, it might not be the Panthers, but now you got Dave Canellis in Carolina. Years past, Atlanta's a little more irrelevant, right? Now they're making all these moves and bad draft picks. And, we'll talk about that never, because we'll see it down the road. But, yeah, you have all these appealing teams suddenly, and the Bucs, once again, do have a first-place schedule as well. So between the Falcons and Panthers and all these other first-place teams, J-Lo, it ain't easy.
No, it's not. I mean, if I had to choose, I would want to play a team that had a really bad year last year, like the Panthers, or play a team like the Saints or something like that. Kind of like a warm-up game, than playing a good team like Baltimore, San Francisco, Philadelphia. But you know what? Give me Philadelphia. Give me Philadelphia as a home opener, just to kind of remind them.
Renew the rivalry a little bit, right?
They are a little rivalry, man. I mean, I feel like that would be a good starting kit. Boot their asses again like we did at the playoffs. That'd be a fun one to watch, I feel like, for a home opener. So give me Philly at home opener. And you know what? Give me a 4 o'clock game, too. 4 o'clock game on that one. Just because of how that game...
4 o'clock or 4:25?
Oh, that's right. Good point. Good point. No, it's a good point.
Why don't they? And that's so stupid, though. They should make it all 4:25 to me, right? Because you get these noon games, or I'm sorry, Eastern time, 1 o'clock kickoffs. And why wouldn't you end them all uniformly and then start all the other games? Yeah, like by the time 4:25 Eastern hits, all those 1 o'clock games are done. By the time 4 o'clock Eastern hits, you might be in a 3-minute drill in a tie game. No one's going to want to flip over from that.
No, especially if it's your team, in overtime, and you want to see them possibly win the game. It wouldn't make sense. The NFL is very hard to understand on why they do that timing, unfortunately, especially with the whole Roger Goodell talk saying, go from 3 to 2 preseason games and add an extra NFL game. I mean, it's just very confusing times right now with that. But I will say this, Tones, as far as the first game, first game I would love to see the Bucs go play. Give me Detroit on the road first.
Oh,
game.
wow.
Go in there and play spoiler.
So like Minnesota last year, kind of, when we opened on the road against Minnesota, who was kind of like a Detroit last year because they did so good the year before, right? They had lofty expectations. Then the Bucs go in there week 1 and, what's the old cliche? Put the old hammer down on him.
Exactly. Because I feel like, we owe them a little revenge tour after what they did to us last year, coming in our house, pounding on us, and then we go to their house and they barely escaped. Even though they had a 2-score lead, but we were coming back. You put that fear in a team like that. And Baker's got, he's got the bad now. He's settled. He's got his offensive coordinator he's used to. It's going to be very interesting on what first game we're going to play, whether it's on the road or we'll open up at home. But give me Philadelphia at home.
Giovanni wants another bird. He wants the Falcons to open up at home.
Oh, Kirk Cousins? Oh, yeah, please. Bring on Kirk Cousins.
Or Michael Penix.
Or Michael man.
Maybe Taylor Heineke?
Bro, they've been getting a lot of heat lately with that pick, man. A lot of heat from fan bases and all, man. That was just not a good draft for them, in my opinion. If I was a Falcons fan, I'd be punching the air right now. That's just
Like Harbaugh in one of those Frank Caliendo skits when he's kicking the air and kicking chairs. Dalton says, "What up, y'all? What up, Dalton?
What up, Dalton?
Hope you're having a great Sunday morning so far, joined by the great Neil, by Dalton, Giovanni, and on Facebook now, El Monitos tuning in as well. So a lot of OGs, plenty of more OGs out there as well. So we appreciate you all joining the Buccateers this beautiful Sunday morning. J-Lo Tampa Tones here. J-Lo, I looked on the NFL's website, and it just says schedule release coming in May, and then it kind of lists some programming between ESPN and NFL Network as well, because they do work together now. I did want to ask you your thoughts on that as we are going over schedule release. We saw it with the draft a little bit. How did you feel about the crossover with ESPN and NFL Network? And now you also see a guy like Michael Irvin getting fired from NFL Network. Do you think that has anything to do with the crossovers, now that ESPN is appearing over there more? This is what it says for NFL schedule release quick. Schedule release 24. Every game revealed, coming in May. The wait is almost over. Get ready for the NFL season with 2024 NFL schedule release presented by Verizon. The dates will be set. Primetime matchups will be known, and every game will be revealed. The full NFL schedule release is coming in May. Watch on NFL Network and streaming on NFL Plus. Additional coverage on ESPN2. So, A, are they kind of forming NFL Network as the big boy and ESPN as the backup? And B, we just don't know yet. So I guess this Thursday rumor may have been a hoax, it sounds like, according to NFL's website.
I'm all for it. I'm all for, joining forces, putting together two hot shots in ESPN and NFL Network, and just make it into one. Make it into one and make it a big banger, Because back in the day, we're all growing up, it was mainly ESPN, for the most part, when it comes to talking.
Same with baseball, it was ESPN, right? Remember Baseball Tonight, Web Gems, Touch 'Em All, I think the home run segment was called.
Yeah. So, for the most part, I'd say just keep it all on one so we don't have to flip the channels. I think that's kind of annoying. I'd rather just keep it on one channel and just hearing, the best of the best, together as one, to keep us entertained, talking football.
And this schedule release is even going to be tougher and trickier, J-Lo, because they keep expanding internationally, which is beautiful. But now you got games in Sao Paulo, Brazil. You got London. You got Munich. I'm pretty sure they're still going to do Mexico City, not 100% sure. But you got so many damn games internationally now, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, sure. As long as it's not my team, I love it, right? As a godfather, James Rubright's joining us. But nothing worse than your team waking up at 7, 8 a.m. on a Sunday. When it's a different team, I love it. But, man, the schedule release is going to get that much more vibrant, I should say, right? Is that the right word? Because, more countries are going to be tuning in as well. And I know some of those dates are revealed for some of those out-of-country games, but not all of them are. Not all of them are. I know the Brazil one, sure, but those Munich, London games as well, they still got to be revealed date-wise. So, J-Lo, you're going to get not only U.S. fans, but you're going to get international fans tuning in as well to see the schedule release. So you might need two networks, right? NFL Network, ESPN2, however the cake may be sliced. But as I gaze over our Bucs opponents, as Olivia says, morning, fellas. Morning, Olive. Hope you're doing
Olive.
Great. The great Olive is joining us. But J-Lo, as we look at our opponents for 2024, we're going to pull it up here on the handy, friendly smartphone. Go into the Bucs website, list of finalized opponents. So at home, we get Philly. That's a tough one. The Redskins, that's going to be tougher than last year. The Redskins won't be any walk in the park this year. Commandos, whatever the hell you want to call them, my apologies. Although they might be the Redskins again before we know it, but that's a whole nother story. The Broncos, they're going to be coming to town. Sean Payton, I can't wait to slap that scumbag's face. No, I'm not, obviously. But, man, I hate Sean Payton. That'll be a lot of fun with the Broncos coming to town, right? And that might be a game that intrigues me to go to because I hate Sean Payton that much. Grew up in my same hometown, went to my college. The guy's just a big jag-off. The Vegas Raiders come to town. That's interesting because they're Vegas. They're going to, have all the fluff and stuff. So far, J-Lo, we're through 4 home games. All are somewhat interesting, right? You got the Eagles rivalry. You got the Commandos, new head coach, Jaden Daniels. You got the Broncos led by Sean Payton. They got Bo Nix now as well. You got the Raiders who are Vegas bound, so they always have a big umbrella of following behind them. Then you got Atlanta New Orleans, Carolina, all divisional foes. It's like, holy cow. Then you end it with San Fran and Baltimore. That home schedule is not going to be easy. That's going to be very grueling. There's no easy game on that home schedule, J-Lo. But I don't know who it's going to be. But whoever the home opener is, you could justify just about any of those teams to be the home opener.
No, exactly. I mean, we went pretty far in the playoffs, much more than expected. So I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna get a couple of primetime slots at two of those teams at home, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's the Niners and the Ravens, because last year we played the 49ers. We were close. We played a lot better than we did the year before, so I can see that being a primetime game. Because everybody's gonna. I mean, they're still sleeping on us, which is fine. I don't really care. But as far as real Bucs fans out there, I'm pretty sure they're excited. Not intimidated by the schedule because anybody can win on a given Sunday, and ain't nothing better than being at home in front of your fans, and hopefully we'll have our fan base there for all those games. Because the visitor takeover was brutal last year until that playoff game against the Eagles where all the fans gathered. I mean, I saw so much red and green in that stadium, which I was hoping for. And it makes a big difference. It built a lot of confidence in the team. So, I mean, and plus, it don't get easy on the road. You got to go over the road schedule, Tones.
Yeah, we do got to go over the road, which we will do shortly here. But I just want to give a very big shout out quickly to our guy Bougie Naedu, who's tuning in from Europe right now. He's from Dubai, and he's a big Buccateers guy now. I met him in January on a cruise, and he's a cruise worker, and he watches us now. So he's tuned in from Europe right now, a Dubai guy. That's pretty epic, ain't it, J-Lo?
Oh, yeah, international love, man. That's what. Hey, those international fans, man, they're quite fun and entertaining, man. They're great people. I met many of them as far as wrestling fans go. Going to different cities, but as far as sports goes, they're just as fun as us, man. So appreciate the love over there, man.
Yeah, we know we're watching Canada. We know we're watching London, or Bucs have a big Europe presence as well, but now we're Dubai bound, so pretty cool. As Corey Fleming says, give me Atlanta out the gate. Tired of talk about Cousins on the Falcons. I don't care where it is. Yeah, we're gonna beat them both times this year. I was at the Atlanta home game last year, and that thing, Baker Mayfield is going to get revenge on that. The Bucs lost a very close home game to the Falcons last year. They got their revenge on the road, but Baker, Mike Evans, those types of pros are going to go back. Todd Bowles is going to have his team ready. He's going to say, hey, these motherfucking dirty birds came into our house last year and they beat us, and they gave us every fucking opportunity to beat them. Baker Mayfield throwing that interception in the red zone, right? Devin White having gaffed coverage on a running back, which won't happen anymore because Devin White's going to be, yeah, exactly. He's going to be blowing coverages in Philadelphia now instead of Tampa. So a couple of things here and there that could have went better for the Bucs. And we do appreciate you, Devin, for what you did for the Super Bowl. But this Atlanta game at home is going to be circled by pros, going to be very, very competitive on Todd Bowles' behalf. I think Casey Rogers even mentioned them the other day already. I love Casey Rogers, man, our co-defensive coordinator. He's always bringing the passion, the grit, and he's always got really good stuff to tell. So our coaching staff's going to be ready. But as J-Lo said, we got to be ready for the away games. And this away schedule's loaded too, J-Lo. This is going to be a tough year, buddy. I think we'll make the playoffs still, but man, things change throughout the year, right? What seems tough right now, by week 3 or 4 next year might not be that hard anymore, or what seems easy right now might be a really hard game by week 9 or 10 next year. So we just never really know, but the away schedule looks as followed. We have Dallas Cowboys, which to me, they're beatable. I don't think they've made that many great offseason maneuvers so far this year. We got the New York Giants, very beatable, especially with their quarterback under helm. The Chiefs,
man, that one's gonna be. Don't be surprised that's not a primetime game either.
Yeah,
Chiefs.
Super Bowl rematch, right? I know Baker Mayfield is in now, but let's not forget Browns and KC have some history too. Baker almost took the Chiefs out of the playoffs a couple years back when Baker was a member of the Browns, ultimately fell up short. But the Chargers and Harbaugh, that'll be a fun one. We're going to be going to Los Angeles, and that's fucking terrible. Should still be San Diego. Whatever NFL, all right. I'll tone my vocab back here a minute. Whatever NFL executive, I got a lot of words for him, but I'll say NFL executive or owners meetings, commissioners meetings, whatever idiot decided that putting 2 teams in Los Angeles in a 1-year span was a good idea to grow the game of football. You, sir or ma'am, are a moron, a complete idiot, and a joke for multiple reasons. The NFL moved out of Los Angeles decades ago because it wasn't fitting them well. And now they move not 1 team back, but 2 teams back. I mean, could you imagine you're sitting in Los Angeles? You already have a favorite team because you're either going to be rooting for the Raiders or a team, you're going to be rooting for a team regardless. So you get 2 teams coming to town, Rams and Chargers, and you already have a favorite team. What the hell are you going to do? Pull an ice cream stick out of a hat and, stick with that team? So I just think it's embarrassing and stupid. And the attendance shows that. If you watch these Chargers games, if you watch these Rams games, it's like a Vegas thing, or not Vegas. It's like a Hollywood thing. You're just having random people show up to the game. They don't even care about the game, really. They don't care about the Rams. They don't care about the Chargers. You're getting frauds like Robert De Niro sitting sitting there that doesn't even know a lick about football. So anyone, side rant over, but anyone who thinks moving 2 teams to LA in a 365-day span was a smart maneuver for the growth of the league, you're very not bright. And I'll put it like this. I guarantee you within the next decade, one of those teams is out and back in St. Louis. I guarantee you the Rams head back to St. Louis. I'm calling it right now. Within the next decade, that was a travesty what they did over there. But keep on going here. Atlanta, New Orleans, and Carolina, and then Detroit. So that's our away. You got Dallas, the Giants, the Chiefs, the Chargers, Atlanta, New Orleans, Carolina, and the Lions as our away game, J-Lo. How do you feel about that? And I guess ultimately, what split do you feel better about, the home or away? And I'm going to get into something very interesting about how this is our first year getting the quote-unquote home split advantage at once J-Lo's done talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough schedule all around, but to me, best competition brings the best out of you. And to me, when the Bucs played these better teams, they played them really, really close instead of playing one of these bad teams, and they played horrible like crap. Like against Atlanta at home last year was depressing. You were there live to see that. So I have to say, out of the road games, I see maybe 2 or 3 losses out of that, honestly, truthfully. And then as far as home, I think the home slate, the home field advantage, I feel like that's going to benefit us. I'm not saying we're going to win them all, but I definitely see us being above 500, with our schedule because of our home schedule more than the away. Because the away one, to me, the only real tough team that intimidate me a little bit is probably Detroit, Kansas City. But as far as Dallas, I just don't see them as a threat as much anymore. They didn't do much.
Mike McCarthy's going to Mike McCarthy, right?
And then Dak Prescott may not be there because he wants more money, and I wouldn't pay that dude that kind of money. Because look what's costing them. They're costing them players. They had to get Zeke Elliott to come back to be their running back. And then the best part about Dallas, just on the subject, I just want to throw this in there. Watching Skip Bayless looking so mad, so frustrated after they traded out of their pick back because he wanted Graham Barton on the Cowboys. And the fact that we slid in there and we got our guy, guess what? Barton's gonna make their life a living hell when they go to Dallas. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, and I'm going to point out this, the Bucs, and I've been saying this on Twitter, on our pod, on the Buccateers, on other people's pods for the past several years now. 2024 will be the first time since 2018. 2018. That's a long time. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 seasons in between. So this year, for the first time since 2018, the Bucs will have either an even schedule advantage or a favorable schedule advantage. And I'll tell you what I mean by that right now. In 2019, when we still played 16 games a year, our 8th home game was in London, so we were shorted a home game there. We only had 7 home games in Tampa, so we got ripped off a home game in 2019. 2020 was COVID. Obviously, every team affected, but still, the Bucs could never sell out a crowd because Tom Brady's there. Could you imagine that? COVID comes, boom, suddenly can't sell tickets. So that's 2019. We had a London home game. 2020, we had COVID. 2021 was the start of the expanded 17-game schedule. And we went to Indianapolis as our extra game that year. So we had 8 home games that year opposed to 9 road games. So keep in mind, 2019, our 8th home game was in London. 2020, we had COVID. 2021, our extra game was a road game in Indy. 2022, when we get our extra home game, it's in Germany. We were a home game in Germany in 2022. So we should have had an advantage there. Not. So now you look back, 2019, we had home in London. 2020, we had COVID. 2021, extra game at Indy. 2022, our home game in Germany. 2023, an extra home game again on, not a home game, extra game on the road in Buffalo. Not an extra home game in 2023. So it's been 2019 London game, 2020 COVID, 2021 extra game on the road, 2022 extra game but in Germany at home, 2023 extra game on the road but in Buffalo. J-Lo, this is the first year in 2024 when the Bucs are either going to get a favorable home and road split or an advantage for home games since the 2018 season. That's kind of crazy.
Well, like I said, the NFL doesn't love us. They, especially the schedulers. The schedulers never love us. Remember in 19 where we weren't even home for almost a month. We were on the road. Like, that was a crock of crap. I mean, like, what the hell? Like, I understand, y'all don't like us. I get it, but, at least give us a shot to compete, what's fair. And I felt that was not fair that year, and as far as, the international, thing, it is what it is. I guess they're trying to promote us, which is nice. But it sucks when they took away our extra home game in 22, to do that. So, I'm glad we're finally getting that kind of advantage, and I think it's going to benefit us.
And Corey brings up a good point about the schedule. Good thing is we only go to the West Coast one time. That's very true. It's hard to adjust, and depending on how the schedule goes, cold weather games might not be a factor. Yeah, some of our cold weather games, potentially Detroit, that's in a dome, right? So you get a little bit lucky there, but then you got Kansas City, New York, Carolina, maybe. But the thing is, Carolina never gets that game shouldn't be overly cold regardless. It gets chilly there, but unless it's like abnormality, it should be like in the 30s or 40s at least, which ain't awful. But Kansas City and New York are the two that probably would scare me, in terms of weather being cold, I guess. But not really too scared on that Carolina one because I feel like it's usually generally a pretty dang good day. They have like one bad weather game a year, I feel like. So just can't be that one. Speaking of that one, you're on the right one. We're here on the Buccateers with J-Lo, Tampa Tones, and we're going to go from the schedule release, and now we're going to chat about Bucs rookies getting adjusted into the 8-1-3. J-Lo, I know it's going to be a hot time for these rookies, a lot of busy stuff. They're going to be moving from across the country, across the USA, all to the 8-1-3 to compete and to be a part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whether you're an undrafted rookie, whether you're a drafted rookie, nothing's given to you, everything's earned. And, you already see guys, a guy like Graham Barton, already in one Buc place, shaking up with, coaches, players, and, there's some jokes out there about Robert Hainsey looking in the background like, oh, snap, because, he's outsized by Barton. But even beyond Barton, Tyke Smith and Braswell and all those sorts as well, Elijah Klein, the O-lineman. you're going to be seeing these guys around town, not only in training camps, not only in mini camps, but they're going to start getting welcomed by the Rays. I'm sure they'll have someone throw out a first pitch, or the Lightning game. You see newcomers go to those sorts of games. I know the Lightning season just ended, sadly, but just giving examples. This is a time, J-Lo, where the rookies have to be, I know a lot of them are very smart gentlemen, very smart individuals, but they're going to have to remember, this is an exciting time for them, but they got to continue to work hard. We've seen rookies flop out, phase out in this time period when they're getting all the bright light shine on them and all that stuff. Rookies really got to be using their thinking caps in the next, leading up to July pretty much, J-Lo. Is they're going to be the talk of the town for the 813. Everyone's going to want pictures with them, autographs with them. Rays are going to use them for publicity. All that stuff's going to happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I feel like we got the right guys. I think they can come in there and make a big impact right away on that. As far as like the first 4, maybe 5 picks of the draft. Also Bucky Irving. I know he's been communicating with Rashad White, and Rashad White's thrilled to have a running mate in there. So that'll be fun to watch. Grant Barton, that dude's huge, man. He was built for this game, and this man is going to be really good. Either whether he's at center or guard, or even tackle, it doesn't matter. We got a really awesome player in that. Braswell looks very motivated. I think he'll come in, kind of work his way up there, and he seems very patient, and that's what you want on your team. You want a player that's patient, wait for his turn to get in there and show out, and that's what he did at Alabama. So I'm excited for that. And then you can't go wrong with a Georgia defensive player, coming into the NFL. I think Tyke Smith's going to fit right on in. I mean, these guys I think are going to be fine coming in. You already saw Tristan Wirfs vibing with Grant Barton, to get him ready, for training camp and stuff. And then, of course, Jalen McMullen, I like him a lot too. I think I already know, pretty sure Mike and Chris probably already reached out to him and already told him, hey, we should get together, train and stuff. And then you see Mike, being a good example. The other day he was on social media training, getting ready for the season. And that's the kind of guys you want to mentor these young guys that are coming in the building as far as that goes. So, hey, and they're in a great city, man. Tampa's an awesome city. You know that. There's going to be plenty of stuff for them to do, to get used to the city and all that. So, welcome to Tampa, and can't wait for rookie mini camp. I think they start practicing, next week.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm excited to see them in the building, and I think we did draft the right smart guys as well, J-Lo, so good points there. We do have a question coming in from our man Travis here on Twitter, Buck and Gator, longtime follower of mine, longtime friend of mine on the Twitter world, on the X world, just a fun guy in general, fun follow. And he goes, do you like UFL? I do. Not sure how long it will last. J-Lo, I'll leave that one with you first. A, do you like the UFL? And B, how long do you see it last?
I think the UFL is doing some good things, giving some of these players an opportunity to get back into the NFL or get into the NFL. At first, you get excited for the first week, especially if you're really into it. I feel like The Rock has done a really good job promoting it.
Can you smell?
That's a busy man. The final boss right there, for real. No, but on a serious note, I don't see them disappearing. I think they'll be able to create, a fan base that will enjoy watching some spring football and giving guys like AJ McCarron a chance, to get back in the NFL. I mean, he voluntarily asked the Bengals to release him so he can go join the Battle Hawks and go better his game in the spring. And they get picked up. I mean, last year there were a few players that got picked up from the XFL and the USFL. So I would say yes, I like the UFL. When I have time to watch it, I'll sit, and catch some of the games, and try to scout some of these players that could be potential Bucs. Because Light and the crew are watching some of it. They're keeping an eye out for that. In case they see a player they may like, they want to bring into the building.
Yeah, and I hear you completely on that, Mr. J-Lo, and it's interesting to see. We look at the UFL here, and I'll tell Travis. I think it'll last the UFL. I think it'll last, and I think, as you said, The Rock's done a great job with it. Going to continue to make it a prominent feeder league. But I think it'll be successful. I think it's already done pretty well this year, to be honest. And I think just merging the the USFL and the XFL was a big first step because, that's going to be the death of these little leagues. You had the AAF, you had the XFL, you had the USFL, you got the fan ran football league. They should all just combine into one and really help each other out. I mean, there's really no need because you got the NFL. Canadian Football League will always be a thing. You kind of need that third league. I'd just keep combining them. But my DC Defenders, man, we're 2-3, off to a rough start. Point differential -44, so not looking great there. But just to update you guys on all the standings, there's two divisions, the USFL and the XFL division. Right now, the USFL division is Birmingham leading the way. They're 6-0, followed by Michigan, who is 3-2. Houston is 1-5, and Memphis is 1-5. Then flipping it over to the other side, you got St. Louis at 5-1, San Antonio at 4-1, DC at 2-3, Arlington at 0-5. So J-Lo, the only thing I would say is this seems to be a bit of a competition discrepancy at this point right now. It seems like there's kind of three top heavy teams, two mid-tier teams, and then three bottom of the barrel squads.
Yes, and I believe Birmingham, they won the USFL title the last couple seasons, so they're a powerhouse team, well coached by Skip Holtz, I believe. That's the coach over there. Like I said, Battle Hots, I like what Bet's doing. I think he is a future coach in the making whenever he gets an opportunity, whether it's college or pro later on. But the Alton Renegades, that really surprised me because they won the XFL title last year. I'm really surprised how bad they're playing. And I believe Bob Stoops is the head coach over there. But as far as Birmingham, it doesn't surprise me. They're a well-coached football team. I think Skip Holtz is a underrated coach. I know he had a bad ending at USF, but I feel like he'll get another opportunity in the college rankings, and get an opportunity to lead a program.
Yeah, and I that's what I like about it as well. It's not just a players feeder league; it's a coaching league as well. And you get guys like Wade Phillips around, Anthony Beck, and Reggie Barlow, some former Bucs around. So that's why I like these leagues too. It's you keep the coaches intact, you keep the players intact, and we've seen examples of guys coming from these little leagues before and being impactful in the NFL. The Cowboys kicker last year, all pro. Didn't miss a kick in the regular season. He came from the UFL. Bucs third string, fourth string tight end, David Wells. He started in the UFL. He made his way, and I'm just calling everything the UFL now. I'm just saying the UFL. But David Wells started in the UFL. He's now on the Bucs active roster. I know PJ Walker hasn't had the greatest of success, but look at him. Look at PJ Walker continuing to find backup work around the league. So these leagues are very good for the sport of football. They're going to help continue to grow the game. And I really think people that are harsh on these leagues aren't realizing the impact that it could have on the game of football. These things are good for football. They're going to prove as feeder leagues for football. They're going to keep people in the game of football, playing professional football, keep fans watching football. I just hate the people who don't even give this stuff a chance, and they don't even realize it's not the NFL. They're not trying to be the NFL. They're not going competition head-to-head with the NFL. Come on. You have your head in a gutter if you think of it like that, J-Lo. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right. I mean, to me, these are guys that either had an opportunity in the NFL and didn't make it, but they got an opportunity to showcase their talent to get back into the NFL. Or you got some of these smaller school players that are trying to showcase their talents. And, I like what it does because it gives other players an opportunity to get back into the NFL and create more excitement. Guys like A.J. McCarron from the Battle Hots or the gentleman from the DC Defenders. What's his name? The quarterback? Jordan Tamu.
Yep. And he was on the Chiefs practice squad at one point, I think. And to mention off your point, J-Lo, there's no minor leagues in football. You don't get sent out. Like, if you're a first-round pick in baseball, basketball, hockey, and you make it to the major leagues, all those leagues have developmental leagues or minor leagues, you could just get sent back down. In the NFL, it ain't that easy, because if
Nope.
you're on the practice squad, you'll probably be nabbed up because you're potential, and then if you're not playing well, they might cut you in a year or two, which really ain't fair. It takes some of these cats 3, 4, 5, 6 years to figure it out. Look at Alex Smith. Look at Baker Mayfield. These are guys who were given up on early in their NFL careers who figured it out. Now you got these other guys, like you mentioned, Tamu and some other guys, kicker Audrey on the Cowboys. These are guys who were once given up on in the NFL, and you never know if they might get a revival shot. Let's not forget, when the Angels first called up Mike Trout decades ago, it seems like now, he got sent back down in about a week to 10 days because Mike Trout was doing so bad. Could you imagine if he, no minor leagues in the MLB? Imagine if Mike Trout was forced to stay on the Angels. Maybe he has a terrible rookie year. Maybe they give up on him early. Maybe everybody else doubts and judges him then. This league is very, very, very good for the NFL. And, it's going to serve as a hell of a minor leagues type, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's very beneficial, and it keeps us entertained for football. While we wait, another couple more months until we see some training camp, Hall of Fame game. This is what's going to keep us occupied, for at least about another month.
The roast of Tom Brady, J-Lo, I know we talked about it when you were visiting. That'll take place on Netflix tonight. I'll pull up the time here shortly, the guest list shortly. But A, are you familiar with any of the previous roast shows, roast episodes in history? And B, will this be something you're looking forward to? Will this be something you're tuning into, the roast of Tom Brady? Or is it one of those things, and when I get time down the road, I'll tune into it? It's a random Sunday a couple weeks from now, Rays game's over, I'll tune in then.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm pretty familiar with the roast, especially that Tom Brady's going to be in it. We're going to see a lot of former teammates of his be there, witnessing him getting roasted, and I believe it's going to be a good show. Netflix never disappoints, in my opinion. I like Netflix. I like what they're doing, and like I said, I'm going to be stay tuned tonight. Watch the race game about another hour, and then tune in later for the roast of Tom Brady.
And here's some people that will be there. It's going to be 2.5 hours long. The Netflix special, the roast of Tom Brady, will be 2.5 hours long. Will be released today. Here's some of the stars: Tom Brady, Kevin Hart, Tom Segura, Nikki Glazier, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, Drew Bledsoe. I remember Drew Bledsoe said he's going to roast the fuck out of him, so I'm interested to see what happens there. Andrew Scholes, Bert Kreischer, that's a really good one right there. The Tampa native. Tony Hinchcliffe and Sam J are going to be the host and the hostess of the mostest there. And here's a little excerpt from the USA Times. It says, "The GOAT's got it coming, and he does not appear scared. The greatest roast of all time, the roast of Tom Brady, is set to drop this weekend, part of the annual Netflix Is a Joke festival in Los Angeles. The Comedy Fest begins Thursday and runs through May 12th. More than 300 performances there, including Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock. I stand with Seinfeld, baby. Let's go. The roast of Tom Brady airs live and unedited at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, May 5th on Netflix. So that'll be out 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern tonight. Again, very much so looking forward to what Gronk, Edelman, Bert Kreischer, and honestly Drew Bledsoe has to say about that. Kevin Hart's always a funny guy as well, J-Lo. So that should be all good stuff there. Roast of Tom Brady on Netflix. Maybe we'll have the roast of the Buccateers this offseason. Maybe one of us. No, I'm kidding. We can't do that. We can't do that. We don't roast.
I don't know, man. I might get my feelings like Devin White. I don't think I can take the roast, man.
That was hilarious. Levante David on NFL Network. I think maybe Rich Eisen. I forget who he was talking to exactly, but they were interviewing him and they asked Levante David a couple of questions. Hey, who could you joke around with most, or who could you not joke around with most? And his answer right away, yeah, I can't joke around with Devin White type stuff. And A lot of Bucs reporters were having fun with that, saying, can confirm you can't joke around with Devin White and those types. So pretty amazing stuff there, J-Lo. Pretty funny stuff there, in my opinion. What say you?
Oh no! I mean, shout out to Levante David. You know, he had a great 28. It was like a 20. It was like a 28 minute video of him on the Rich Eisen podcast, and it was very unique. You know, because he doesn't get talked about much, and and it was nice that he got recognized, and he said a lot of great things about Tom Brady coming to Tampa, and and just some of the roasting he said. I believe he said Joe McCoy would be a good roaster. Back in the day when he was teaming with him. Um, but yeah, Levante David's a true legend, and I think he said he was going to be there at the show. I think he announced it on the Rich Eisen podcast.
Levante did?
Yeah, that he'll be in attendance along with Leonard Fournette as well. So a couple former teammates of Brady, former Bucs, will be in attendance there. So that ought to be fun. Let them have a good time, enjoy. And I'm pretty sure they're all going to go out, have a nice dinner or something, or a late night cap, and just throw some shit, man. Talk football, talk about the past. Maybe they might try to motivate Brady to actually come out of retirement and play again for another fucking bullshit team. Pardon my French. But anyway, well, I'm looking forward to the Drew Bledsoe roasting. That's going to be entertaining. I can imagine so many things he wants to say.
I can too, and once again, that's 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Mountain. If you're in another time zone, I'm sorry, like our buddy in Dubai, not really sure what time it will be out there, but damn it, make sure you catch the roast of Tom Brady on Netflix, and you guys are catching the Buccateers here, and make sure to catch the replay on Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, and so much more. And you could catch the replay as well on Bucs Life News Facebook page as well. And you could catch us live every time we're live on Buccateers YouTube or Bucs Life LLC Facebook group. And make sure to hit the subscribe button, like button, and turn the notification bell on so you guys could keep up with us. Before we get to our final word, we're going to do a fun rookie salary cap GM game here quick, J-Lo. This is going to be an easy one. Not an easy one, but a minier one for sure compared to our previous. So you're the GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're GM J-Lo, General Manager J-Lo. You got $6 to spend. Here's your following budget tiers. $3, Graham Barton and Broswell. $2, Tyke Smith, McMillan, the wide receiver, and Bucky Irving. $1, offensive lineman Elijah Klein and Devin Culp, the Washington tight end. So this is salary cap GM game for just Bucs draft picks. You have $6 to spend. Again, Graham Barton and Broswell are $3 a piece. Tyke Smith, McMillan, and Bucky Irvin are $2 a piece. And then Eli Klein and Devin Culp are $1 a piece. If you're the Bucs GM and you got $6 to spend, J-Lo, where are you justifying those dollars?
Pretty tough one. I'm probably gonna go ahead and be a bit spender, and I'll just spend my $6 on Barton and Braswell. Go in the trenches. You get your center, and then you get your edge rusher on the other side of the ball. That would be my pick. Go ahead and just spend all in for those two guys itself instead of adding a third one. I like McMillan, but I'm fine with going in the trenches. That's been my main topic of the offseason. You got to go in the trenches to better your football team.
Yeah, if I had $6 and I'm the GM, I'm going Barton for $3. I think that's much needed. Then I'm continuing the trenches trend, and I'm going to go with Eli Klein for $1. So I'm at $4. 3 on Barton, 3 on Klein. Continue to rebuild that offensive line greatly. And then for $2, I'm going to spend it on Tyke Smith. We don't really have that third safety, J-Lo, at least the budding star yet. Tyke Smith could be a guy who comes in behind a Whitehead, behind a Winfield, and really pay big dividends there. So once again, general manager game, salary cap GM game. We had $6 to spend. The tiers were Barton and Broswell were $3 apiece. Tyke Smith, McMillan, and Bucky Irvin were $2 a pop. Eli Klein and Devin Culp were $1 a pop. General manager J-Lo went Graham Barton and Broswell. And then I went Graham Barton, Eli Klein, and Tyke Smith. So both formidable teams there, J-Lo, in my opinion. And man, I can't believe we're already in an hour here with, we did very well given the topics at hand today, J-Lo. And that's the beautiful thing about football and the beautiful thing about the Buccateers. You come here and we're not only going to talk ball, we're going to give you some damn good knowledge of all facets, whether it's UFL, Buccaneers, NFL draft, or just the weekend in sports. J-Lo, what's your final word for us on this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Sunday in both the 813 and the 630? I'm assuming it's beautiful by you, but
Oh yeah, it's getting quite toasty out. Definitely a good time to go to the beach. But my final word is getting ready to watch some race baseball, try to get motivated again. And try to enjoy baseball season while I wait for football season to come, and spend some time with my older one. Dad duty on that. and
briefly, what did you think of Dolphin 72, our guest the other night? She was quite a treat.
Yes, she was. I mean, shout out to Jean, for bringing her on to the show. She had great knowledge. It's always good to talk, in-state rivalry a little bit. She was very knowledgeable. Like I said, I added her. Hopefully she'll add me back. And like I said, I mean, she brought good knowledge. It's always fun bringing another sports fan onto the show. Let them showcase their themes, even if it's a team like the Dolphins or even I don't know. I mean, the Chicago fan. I keep forgetting his name. I'm sorry, but we brought.
Juice.
Yeah, Juice. There you go, Juice, and then, of course, Command That podcast. Right, that's what they're called. Command That.
Command this.
Command This. Thank you. My apologies for butchering that.
No, you're good, brother.
But for the most part, yeah. I mean, I'm always all for bringing on other opponent fans in there and just hear their knowledge of the game. And for her as a female, females are very smart. They actually do know the game of football for these judgmental people. But yeah, I mean, Doll's awesome, man.
Yeah, we're looking forward to Doll making an appearance, hopefully, as training camps and preseasons ramp up, as well as a lot to do with the Dolphins, the Bucs. They're announced to maybe doing some co-joint stuff together and whatnot. As my nanny's tuned in as well on Facebook now, so the group keeps on growing. Better late than never. It's been a Sunday special here on the Buccateers, and my final word is this. Keep up with us on Twitter, on X, on Instagram. We're going to be doing a lot of fun things this offseason. We're going to be doing a beer draft at some point, ran by the fans, figured by the fans. We're going to figure out the official Buccateers and Buck What You Heard beer for the 2024 NFL season. And yeah, we don't have Gene, Huncho, Bucko, Stunner, or Cats today, but keep in mind, there is 7 of us. We're going to keep bringing you great content all off season long, do many more giveaways, a lot of fun stuff coming on the Buccateers. Follow our Instagram. You can see a lot of man cave items like the things in the background right here. We just posted a post the other day. Devin White, Darrell Revis. Those 2 names sound familiar? Go check us out on Instagram at Buccateers Pod, Buccateerspod. We're here for a good time and a long time. Not the old cliche, here for a good time, not a long time. No, we're here for both a good time and a long time, damn it. But J-Lo, hope you enjoy the day with your oldest. And, it's truly a blessing to see that happen on a Sunday. My friend, you stay safe out there with your family. And you and your daughter attack the day. Go Rays, go Cubs, and anything else we might like out there.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, and also, for everyone that we haven't announced yet, it's Cinco de Mayo. So the people going out today,
Cinco de Drinko.
Mayo, be safe, don't get too tore up, because Cinco de Mayo is a really good time. I've had my fair share of fun time with Cinco de Mayo, so go Bucs, baby.
Yeah, we celebrated yesterday, went to a little Mexican restaurant in this neck of the woods. We got tacos, we got elote, we got chips and salsa, we got, refried beans. It was just fantastic. These really good potatoes as well. Yeah, but happy Cinco de Mayo. If you celebrated the Kentucky Derby yesterday as well, hope the Derby was amazing for you on Derby Day. So a lot of good stuff this weekend. Cinco de Mayo, Derby Day. Baseball continuing in that much, and then WWE had a premium live event. I didn't tune in because it's in France. Sorry, I got better things to do than tune into a France event. So yeah, I heard that was pretty good though. But Jay said when I was young, I used to enjoy Harry singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Yes, as Marv Albert would say, yes, Harry Carey was phenomenal. And Jay, little fun fact. Cubs games, they still show Harry Carey doing it. I'd say once or twice a week they just do like a throwback to Harry Carey singing, "Take me out to the ball game." So those of you joined in today, we appreciate it greatly. Is Tones Deckeroff or Marv Albert here? Yes, we're taking you out of here on a Sunday. It's Marv Albert. I hope everybody out there has a fantastic day today. Yes, it's true. As Jay says, Harry was a legend as well. Harry Carey, man. The great Harry Carey. Nobody else does it like Harry. And he has a lot of good restaurants around here now as well. So even more badass of the old man there. But on behalf of the Buccateers, Tones Deckeroff, 3-2-1, touchdown Tampa Bay, Bucky Irvin around the outside, Bucky Irvin to the left, Ducky bolts his way into the end zone. J-Lo, Tones here, Buccateers. We love you guys. Until next time, we'll announce our next show. It ain't going to be tomorrow, though, because we just, unless we get breaking news out of the ass, you know, we'll be back tomorrow. But unless, we'll be back Tuesday or Wednesday. Until then, everybody, stay safe, stay blessed, be good, be smart, be a great Bucs fan like we know you guys could be. J-Lo, enjoy your Sunday. As Jay says, Bucky's about to be a real treat. He sure is.
Oh, yes, he is. He's going to be breaking ankles, man. Can't wait.
Going to be breaking ankles and snapping cankles. Adios, everybody. J-Lo, Tones, Buccateers. We are out. Yes, on a Sunday. Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Buck.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No, my camera's broke.